So I had a couple friends tell me that if I started making videos, then they would watch. So I guess I gotta start making them now. But I guess I'll start out with a banger. It's one of the closest, I'd say, so far, um, ego death experiences that I've had. It was on, and I have a list with me because I suck at keeping track of events. Um, It was anywhere from 1100 to 1300 micrograms of LSD, and I'm not sure because as he was dropping the onto the Smarties, the big ones, he kind of mashed it together. So he said maybe 13, but whatever. But before that, he pulled out, I didn't know he was going to do this, a little bag that he had of pure MDMA. It looked like pink Himalayan salt. Took a dab before this because I was a little nervous, but anyway, it looked like pink Himalayan salt, and he took a little key bump and said, "Open your mouth." And I had a friend with me who was looking, just didn't know what it was, just, oh, accepting random drugs. But whatever, I knew what it was. And just puts a little bit, and then gives me the Smarties, and we head off, say thank you, safe journeys. And if you hear anything in the background, I got Spangle going, by the way. We get back to my house, me and my friend, and one other person comes over, and each of them have 5 grams of mushrooms each, so we're all kind of tripping together. And one of them starts to have a little bit of a bad trip, losing touch with reality, and they go into the room because they feel nauseous. And that kind of separation intensified it. And when I went in to give him a hand, because I was still kind of handling myself, I felt oddly sober the whole time. Like this, it wasn't hitting me super hard for the first 2 something hours. It was just mild. The come up was heavy, but it was just mild. And I came in, I was helping them, and I just felt overall sober. And it was about half an hour later that the other friend comes in, and he says he's done tripping. 2.5 hours into 5 grams of mushrooms. I was like, maybe. But he insisted that he wanted to go home. He was done, so it's like, alright, if you want. And he called a friend and he left. But I came back in and was able to guide the other friend through the rest of their slippage with reality. They came back to, and not too long, half an hour later, but they were, for the most part, sobered up pretty quick after that and just up and around. And I was still feeling kind of sober, so I thought, we'll see what a dab will do. And I took out my big bong and put the banger on it, because I just cleaned it, so. And heated it up, and I just took a fuck it dab, and just that acid numbness, everything was just numb, so I took I took the third hit, man. That's literally what it was. I took the third hit and just blew out that cloud. And I think I maybe tried to clean the banger, but maybe not. Because they had just started to walk back into the room when I looked at the wall and this mild trip just BAM! Faces everywhere. I actually drew a visual. I was looking up in the corner of my room, and I have those like square foot ceiling tiles in the wood paneling, and inside everything was just literally this elongated face. I saw one, and then it boom stretched to everything on the room, 4 in each tile of the ceiling. And it was 11:30 at night, and I have neighbors, so yelling, "Holy shit," is not always the best idea. When I realized how loud I was being, I slapped my hand over my mouth. But there was this kind of deja vu feeling, and then everything just started to slow down, and the faces shrunk, and black space grew from in between them, and it was coming over me in waves, almost getting kind of emotional. And I said to the person next to me that I definitely want to close my eyes. And I was laying on my bed right here, so they were all for that. I closed my eyes and I laid back. And when I closed my eyes, everything was already so messed up visually that it's like I didn't even close my eyes. I just kept on seeing it. And eventually the faces shrunk so much that all I saw was black. And the colors started to dance around. And this psychedelic, almost city with buildings and whistles and gears and eyeballs and shit, it just started springing up and bouncing, and that would have been so cool on its own if it didn't feel like it was being shown to me by this Gaia mind or God or whatever. It just felt like I was in the presence of something greater, like I knew I was on my bed, but I was in this other space where I wanted to say the whole time, but I couldn't until I was out of it, that this is what the Mayans and Aztecs were talking about. And it was so, so beautiful that, that I will admit I was laying here on my bed with a face drenched in tears. I was just sobbing. It was an experience. It was an experience. Um, it lasted about a minute, I'd say, and then I slowly came out of it. But you're definitely shaken for a bit after something like that. It's like you, and it sounds hippy dippy, but you realize that these shapes and the geometry and everything, there's something alive about it. I don't know, that sounds weird, but there's a reason it's been around for thousands of years. There's a reason you see it everywhere. And I think that's the note I will leave you guys on, whoever watches this. I would love to just communicate with people in the comments section. Like I said, this is my first video. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I don't know. We'll see who watches. And it gives me a chance to show off the first henna that I've ever done on myself, so that's pretty badass, huh? Alright. I'm awkward, you're awkward, stay weird. Will that be an outro from now on? We'll see. See you later.